So yeah, I've been thinking about this picture for a long time. I think about it often actually, and it's mostly because of this background here. I'd never quite made a cityscape like that, and she had, the point of it is that I had just, I think I was still playing The Last of Us. I was really intrigued by this post-apocalyptic sort of landscape, and sort of like the natural beauty of ruin. And I thought it'd be funny to do Michelle here uh, posing for a selfie during the apocalypse, kind of noting on our culture and what I think would happen, in kind of a joking sense. Like, you know, and in black light, her nipples and the phone light up with like biohazard symbols. Anyway, I'd often thought about how cool it would have been if I had just done the background and made the cityscape that way. And my mom had mentioned that she had a painting in the attic. I'm like, what? No way! And I went up there, and sure enough, there it was. And it's even weirder seeing it next to newer work of mine, um, because it's like they're just two completely different worlds. And I'm like, wow, like just not even like maybe a 3 or 4 year difference, and there's so much between them. It's weird to look at. So when I brought it home, my intention was to actually paint her out of it and sort of retouch the city. But after closely inspecting just how I did the line work and all of this, I can do better. Um, but it makes me want to paint another cityscape like this, just with the background, and see what I can bring. Because especially the foreground, I remember at the time, this was like an unprecedented amount of detail for me to be able to do the specs in the asphalt. But if you look at newer asphalt of mine, I could do better now. So I'm gonna use it as a reference and paint one in in reference, I guess, with this one. And I don't know what I'm gonna do with the original. I might paint over it. Anyhow, after that, I went to Radio Room because I know that Radio Room has gatherings and such for Thanksgiving and so, Christmas and New Year's and things. On Thanksgiving, they'll have people come with food and have like a little friendsgiving, and so I thought I might get to see some of my close friends, and I did. I saw a lot of good folks that I hadn't seen in a long time, and I saw uh, Kalia Von Graves, and I was like, hell yeah, I hadn't seen Kalia, and I didn't know where we stood, but I approached her and I'm like, hey, is it okay if I sit next to you and talk? And we ended up talking the whole night, and I ended up drinking like amaretto sours and paydays all night and talking to her, and just we had some really in-depth conversations. It's not really my place to talk about, but they were good convos, and it reminded me of who I was and why I liked Kalia, and we talked business even a little. It was just great, and I was just that's one of the highlights of my evening, just being able to have such a good catch-up session with a friend of mine that I hadn't seen in a long time. So that was good. And then I came home and watched um, The Glass Onion on Netflix, which is just super fun, and I love it. Such a great movie. Loved Knives Out, and this was a great sequel. So, yep, that was my night.
and play and just have fun. Everybody's kids loved her so much.
She was my favorite aunt. I loved her with all my heart. I really think I loved her more than I loved my parents at times. I myself had an amazing bond with her, but it was nothing like Jeremiah's.
Over the time that Gene stopped missing, Gene just called her up. That was pretty much here. She had it down. It wasn't that unusual for her to decide that she wanted to be home every day. He said, "We're happy with where it is for real business. You're like, okay, you got to pick up all three of them. Well, I mean, oh, there's so much information. This connects like that. First, we have to go back and all the people that like to look at bus. All the individuals you just say that she got a bus. But nobody knew why. They're going. And try to get more information. I've been to the jail. They can't come. Someone will. There were people who wanted another one to get to the bus. And now they find that's not a noise. That's what they call it. I was going to say, and we can't let them know. Like, you know, I'm not. We'll believe. Everybody, we sound like some people like that. It's just, we'll get rid of it. Go back over and get the area. So we get the pictures of the guy. We'll never see it out. We'll never see it after we're going to
A tall, skinny guy wearing a ball cap.
Yay, Facebook Marketplace. A gentleman just dropped off this trunk, and I got it for like 40 bucks. I might even buy another one. But for the sole intention of putting my costumes and whips and props for the show in, it would make life a lot easier if I just had an easy way to organize and take my stuff. Because it's always one black giant cape, one Morticia-esque amazing dress, 2 shoes, 1 fire blanket, 1 set of glow poi, 1 set of fire poi, 1 chainmail bullwhip, 1 set of detachable tossers, a small selection of cards, a box of jewelry and makeup for the night of, including my chandelier earrings, 1 masquerade mask for the show. You never know when you need an extra pair of scissors, so always tuck one in there. Also, after you're done with the show, you're going to need to clean up. So there should be a pair of black pants. Oh, also a bra, because you're going to want your tits to look good in your costume. But you're going to need a pair of work pants, a work shirt, some work undies, and some work socks. And then when you're done working, but you're out of costume, you're going to want a skirt to go with that shirt. And that's what you'll wear to Denny's. So costume, tear down, Denny's. So far, it's been a pretty busy morning of stuff for the masquerade. I started off by painting the wooden comedy tragedy masks, and then I painted the seashells, and then I cut the fabric, and then I rearranged my work area, and then I bought a trunk and organized it for the day of the show, and then I cleaned the house, and I'm getting things ready for storage, and I'm gonna run some errands for the City Lights Forum. I gotta print some papers off and get ready for my meeting at 6 because people are coming here. My management team is coming here to meet at 6 o'clock to discuss fencing and certain acts that are going to go on and just general management for the show. Thursday, I may or may not have a backer meeting, a potential investor, which is really cool. I have maybe 3 potentials. So all in all, this is really exciting. If it works out, it'll be a lot easier to get everything done in time for the show. I might even be able to go ahead and knock out some of the stuff for the Mass Queer Aid. So overall, I'm very excited and hopeful. I've been up since probably 8 or 9, and it's almost 3 o'clock. So that's that whole time has been doing that, and then tonight I have lift after the meeting. So it's been a busy week. I know what I was getting into when I started this, but to be honest with you, I thought I had more done than I did, and I know I'm just stressing because I want the show to be the best that it can, and because it's outside, we have so much more room, so it's automatically going to be bigger than any other show already, just with what we have. But I'm truly running the gauntlet. Having just gotten done with Rocky, every day I'm building and working on something for the show. I'm also having to manage, the marketing, and there was Christmas, and then I'm still lifting and working at Starbucks, and there's just so much to do that it's really stressful. And on top of that, I'm trying to manage some sort of social life and sex life. So it's just it's looking back on this, a few years from now, I'm sure this will be seen as like the gauntlet for me. Like this whole year has been one long challenge, and this is a big part of it because I've been working on these pieces for this for a year almost. Like in February of last year, I lost everything. Well, the last show was in February. I lost everything in March. And there are people out there that wanted me to lose even more than just the show props. So they wanted me to lose my house, my friends, my family. And they nearly succeeded. And I fought as hard as I could, and so far I'm still okay. And I've managed to not only survive, but I'm doing okay so far. It's getting full. So I just got back from the store. I'm in the car going home. Well, actually, I'm going to pick up my meds. And I picked up some asparagus for myself. I picked up some thread and some safety pins and some things basically so I can spend the next few days sewing. Yeah. So I can, sew all that curtain that I cut up today. And I've decided that I have to commit to something, and that's when all this is over, when this show is finally done, the most expensive show, the biggest show that I've ever had to do, I'm going to treat myself, and I'm going to take some time, and I know that I'll have 2 months before the May market, and I'm going to treat myself to buying a PS4 and actually doing those little things that I keep saying I'll do for myself that I never do. Okay, so now picture like bending and like, yeah, like you look like you look like a happy flower.
Big win.
I wanted 3 people,
Oh, no.
but I don't think I'm gonna get 3 people.
Try and make a big tree, and it's just like.
Mommy, why does that tree have a butt?
Really dark?
There we go.
Ta-da.
How does that make you feel? What we do is we actually dance. Like in the act, you're laying down, and then I come over there and offer you an umbrella. Wow, this is like
Would you like a used condom?
and or
It looks like the one they pulled out of Uncle's jacuzzi on what next Friday.
yeah. Let me tell you this though. So, I offer you a balloon or the umbrella, and you pick the balloon.
Okay.
And then I pick you up by the hand, and I safety pin it to you, and then we dance. We do a little
Fire
dance.
performers are not performing during the 2-hour show. In theory, you could probably put some of the vendors here, because some of them will start packing up by the time the show's getting ready to wrap up, and then you can do your fire stuff semi-safely, because they'll be far enough to the street in theory to where the whatever they're doing probably wouldn't hurt nobody. You don't want to hurt the merchandise, obviously.
This is a pretty long stretch.
That's why I was
We
thinking,
could put them on the back ends,
like right here and here.
but I don't want to put them here because if we do that, then one of them wants to stay,
then all of a sudden they have to move and it becomes
Right.
the whole thing. But
But-
if we had them dotted through here and here,
Yeah.
it could keep it organized, and it would still look like this is where they're supposed to be.
That and I don't want to block my seashells,
Yeah.
Right.
you know, or the stage. Like, because we're going to have a photographer running around, and this is.
Enter here, fools.
Initially, I thought about building a ticket booth.
I
And
have a light bulb that shines LED lights all over the place. You know, like that weird one that I have inside those paper lanterns
yeah,
on the sides of my TV that look like jewels everywhere.
yeah.
I have another one of those extra.
I kind of wanted to build a ticket booth that looks like this, and then have it right outside of the door. So then, like, we can have little lights on it, and we'll put the door behind it, but we'll have lights on it. So it's like that's where you need to go. But that might be expensive. And we could also just put them like inside, not make the poor bastards cold.
Ones that are like the bulb kind.
Oh yeah, those would be perfect.
Mm-hmm. And you just have to like drill a hole.
Oh, and pop them through. Oh, that's
Yep.
clever. That's really clever, actually.
I mean, all they're seeing is the front anyway.
Yeah.
Glue it to bricks or something.
What? Well, elaborate.
Where you would have rope to hold off people.
Yeah.
You could still have like the tape just showing them where to go, and instead you just build like a step border.
Oh, well, we could, but rope is cheap. So
True.
rope is cheap. If we could, what would be really fancy is if we can get those stupid like velvet sashes. That'd be perfect. But I don't know how to like. I couldn't make them, but I do have a bunch of rope.
I have an idea. If the rope is thin enough, and you have the poles for it,
I could maybe get the poles.
if you have the poles for it, or if you have some sort of thing with rings on the side that we can just tie them to, if you get thin enough rope, we can layer it up to make it look like the chains that I usually wear.
So. So it seems like you're gonna have one piece of plywood like these, and then you would probably need another piece to tack on the sides for this, which isn't horrible, but I mean, like that could work, you know, like one. So this would be 8 feet by 4 feet here, and then these make it bigger than that, which is fine because you're still having to make a box. You want to give them at least a 4-foot box to live in, because that's. 50? Trenta.
As far as it's seeing, you don't have anything plugged in.
Uh-oh.
No, there's definitely on there. Like, as far as I can. Unless there's nothing on it. But I'm pretty. That video slash.
Oh, he's got
Didn't
this
say a
big
word.
shit-eating grin on.
I'm just gonna leave that alone.
Leaves it and stick his tongue out.
Yeah, that'd be awkward. I'd have to have words with Michael. Yeah, Yoshi ate my ass.
Oh, did you guys see this? So we should split one of these down the middle.
You can cut it?
Otherwise, or we could just leave it 4 panels and not use the 5th panel. But it's not going to be quite 20 feet. It'll be 18 feet. That's the middle curtain. It might not matter. You see what I'm saying?
I see that you're all over the place with your decision.
So like if this is the stage, and this is your TVs, and you've got a curtain that's 20 feet, and then another curtain that's 20 feet.
This might not be 20 feet. It don't see this. So maybe you don't cut it into 10. I still say that you split this right. I think 10 you would go. And then talk to 10. So that's what we got to say. So I'm not idea. 1, 2, and this last one. Wait, let's play this. Remember? It's probably 40. It's probably 40. You go down and like one guy and like other person like a large use it literally like science. That's super. It's really detail element. That's what I did. Yeah, that's probably that's so you're spending like $100 to do everything. But like originally nicer probably. But it's really cheap. So I mean, this will get that it's actually that expensive. It could be more expensive, we don't know. So what do you think? There's probably some cost saving I thought out. They did this work for technologies. We really want. Maybe that's it. Yeah, we might do something. What's my mind? Maybe we'll do it next. Usually we'll make it right into the bar. Or not there. Like a hot water or something. So that depends on the stuff. I don't know. It depends on the something. Right. But I don't realize that it's $2 and you probably get another $7. So it's not easy for something. Probably get. Not sure I get straight up. So wait, I don't know. Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you. Because I don't have insurance, and if I go to Charleston, that means it's all the gas money to get there, and then it's going to be $80 to $150 for the appointment, and then they're gonna want blood work, so I have to do all that, and it's probably going to cost me more money. And then at the end of it, all they're going to do is say, okay, cool, here's your prescription for the same thing you were already doing.
Yeah. Which is stupid.
It is. It's like, dude, I have a fucking vagina. Like, I don't really think they're going to tell me I don't need progesterone or estrogen. Like, you know, in fact, it's more detrimental for me not to have it. Because then I'm facing up against blood clots and bone loss and density. So it's I'm lucky in that before my grandmother was a nurse, she was a seamstress. And growing up, she taught me how to sew. I grew up sewing clothing and different things. I even made a few coats and sold them for a good bit of money. Later on, I did costumes for the Children's Theater and a little bit for the Warehouse Theater, and eventually that led to me making props, and I did some stagehand work for them, and eventually, like I said, I ended up being their welder a good many years. So when it comes to sewing a bunch of stuff like this, I've got a little bit of experience behind me that makes me a little bit faster, and I kind of have a good gauge of where I need to be with this. Oh, also, as far as stage production goes, I did all of that, but I was also I worked for Stage Tech for a while for the Peace Center and the Bilo Center. Not to mention, and as far as performance goes, I got to work with, the circus and other troops. So I've got a cool background that just happens to culminate in me being able to do some of this stuff, which is really cool. A lot of people have been telling me I should move lately. Friends of mine, some not friends of mine, have been making the argument that I should move because my reputation isn't always the best in town, and I could make it in a bigger city where there's just more people to support what I do. Or I'd be happier if I went to a different country, just lived peacefully, and that might be true. But do you know why I think I don't leave? Other than I just like it here. I know people. I have friends that I've known almost my whole life, and I don't see that changing. I mean, take my friend like Becca, okay? We're not always on the best of terms. We don't always talk all the time, but when we do, it's good. We've had a lot of really good times over the years, and I've known her since I was probably 18. I had memories pop up on Facebook yesterday, and I was like, oh man, look, we were babies. Because I've known her that long. And it's like that with my friends like Tal, or just so many people that I've known for 15, 20 years now. I've got family here. And it's just like, I just hit a point in my life where I'm just really happy to have people around me that I love and know, and that know me, It's really all I got sometimes. Like I saw Kalia yesterday, and I had a 3 or 4 hour conversation because we don't always talk, but when we do, we catch up. It's like old times. I've known her since I was in middle school. So, think about that, I know that might be dumb, and there are more important things to a lot of people, but I like having an extended art family here in Greenville, people that have known me and watched me and still care for me, because if I go to any other city, no one's going to give a shit. There are times that I regret doing what I do for a living, I think, oh man, wouldn't it be cool if I had been like a nurse like my grandmother, or if I had maybe been a lawyer, which is something I thought about for a while, or just if I'd done anything else with my life. But then I remembered this. A lot of that is pressure from other people to be something, Everybody wants you to make something of yourself. Everybody wants to do something. But you know what? I was lucky early on to find something that I enjoyed doing and I love doing it. I don't always do the same thing. It's not always easy, and I don't always make a lot of money, but I love what I do. And I'd much rather do that than make something out of myself, you know? I'd much rather be happy.
Knocked him off. Dead. He's dead. Show some respect. Leave him alone. It's your fault. God damn it. Ain't you done yet? You got no right to be fucking sore.
I'm approaching my 10th hour of sewing today. My back is in tremendous pain. I'm approaching the end of sewing on these curtains. I might make the cape for myself and wear it out tonight because I deserve a drink before I take a nap and drive tonight and then work tomorrow. But I think it'll all pay off. I've been told that I'm working myself into madness. That might be true. There are definitely things that I'm concerned about with my house and money. But I love what I do. And I understand that this is a difficult time for something I love. Should we not be willing to do difficult things for the things that we love? If they're not worth fighting for, then are they worth anything at all?
Das ist wirklich schade um Oberfläche.
Year's, everybody. Welcome to 2023. Woo! I hope it's better than last year. Yeah. But, so, last night was great. We went to see a great show. We went to see the Cutthroat Sideshow. Cutthroat Sideshow? I'm gonna go with Cutthroat Sideshow. And we saw Scarlet Storm and Emotron and a bunch of other amazing performers. And now that I'm awake, on the first day of the year, Kilo Kitty Brewmaster is coming over, and we are going to go to storage and get the Dreamcatcher out. That's gonna be so much. I have to like jump the truck. I have to go all the way to storage. I have to dig all the shit out, find the thing, pull it out, put it in the truck, go all the way to either Janet's or Barnhouse, assemble the motherfucker, put it up into the air, and then, yeah. Another thing, one of my potential investors, has agreed to give us about a third of our overall like need of what we're asking for, and I might get that tomorrow, hopefully, which means that we should be able to get at least the bare minimum of what we need for the show, and I'll be able to start buying and making things that we need to make this the best show that it can be, and I'm so excited. I just met Tal over here at Smiley's Cafe to get some rope, some much needed rope for the curtains for the Heathen's Bowl, and now we're gonna go over here to Barnhouse, because what Tal does is he works with the Peace Center, and backstage is his thing, rigging and all that. So he's gonna look at the rafters and things with me and help me figure out the way I want to mount the curtains and how we're gonna use that space effectively, so then I can make a list of things I need to get at Home Depot when my investors' money comes through. All right, I'm here at Barnhouse. It's about 9 o'clock. They're not open today, and Tal's on his way. He's not here yet, and we're just gonna check out this place, and we're gonna see what we need. I'm excited to hear his ideas for this. Yeah. Also, we stopped by the Velo Fellow, and they took my big painting down. They left one of them up, but they took one of them down, and it's a bigger one. It's shitty. But he didn't tell me. He's just sitting in the back room, so I guess I'm gonna go pick those up tomorrow. So I've measured, and from here to here is about 21 feet, and our curtains are 20 feet, so our curtain's gonna go from here all the way over there. And we're gonna have 3 curtains, 2 freestanding, 2 that stand with the base, like with a frame, but 2 that open. You could put one right above us, but that'll put you on the rail, and that's no good, because unfortunately we're gonna have a red carpet going down here, but you're gonna have to have a walkway so people can get up here and go through. So there should be a rope about here, which means you have to hang your curtain from that beam and that beam. So this becomes the front, and then that beam is for Selkie Velveteen, and then your second curtain will go there. God damn it. And then your third one is connected to the frame. Now let's count out how this goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5 feet right there.
This is me saying goodbye.
Heat for food.
It looks really good.
I added just
Yeah. It's a long fucking day. It's been a long day. Today's Tuesday. And because it's Tuesday, I had a meeting for the show, the masquerade, and or I was supposed to. But what actually happened is I woke up and I painted, I ate food, I played an hour of video games, I made some phone calls, I masturbated, I took a shower the first time in 3 days because, oh my god, it's crazy. My power is about a day away from being shut off if I don't pay $270. I haven't paid child support in like a month, and I need to catch that up. I haven't paid my car payment from last month yet. Everything's kind of going to shit. I got fired from Starbucks. So I'm only lifting now. And it's been intense. This is the gauntlet, I swear. Like this is like the hardest time I've had in a while, and it's weird because like I'm going through mixed things. Like on one hand, like I've never been happier with my home life. My roommate's almost never here, so I basically live alone. I get to do what I want with the house, and my house is art. It's got character, it's got texture, and it's for the first time in my whole life it's my texture. You know, I've always lived with family or different roommates, or usually significant others. So it's really interesting to actually be able to have my place. The last time I tried that, I was 21, and I had an ex that wouldn't leave my house, so I ended up living with them, and I didn't get to have that place, and then I lost it. So like this is the first time I've ever really had my own place, and it took me a long time to get here, man. Like I got this place with my ex-husband, you know, and I've had 2 roommates since then, and it's so bizarre and surreal, and sometimes I get so lonely, but at the same time, I'm so happy that I don't have to deal with people. I like being alone. It's peaceful, and I can work on stuff, and I can just be myself for the first time in my whole fucking life. Anyway, so this show, the open forum that I've mentioned before, is tomorrow. So we're gonna at 6 p.m. we're going to Coffee Underground, and we're gonna have hopefully all these people show up, and I'm hoping to pick up volunteers and all that stuff. One of my managers is sick. My other manager is getting sick. So Maggie is out, sick with pneumonia. Ian has a scratchy throat. Marcus had something come up and said he was going to show up next week. He's the person that's helping us with fencing. He's going to be the choreographer. So it's just kind of been intense with all that. So I told them to just show up tomorrow if they can, you know. I'll see Maggie next week. Tal's gonna show up tomorrow. Tal's helping us with all the stage stuff. And then, so Ian showed up. I told everybody else to like come tomorrow if they can. If not, I'll see them next week. Ian showed up. He brought me this, which he found on Facebook Marketplace, which is so cool. It's got all these really pretty, like, old, like, I guess they're like old posters or newspaper clippings almost, like ads, it's just so cool. So he brought that, and we're gonna use it backstage at the show. So he'll, we'll have it in the backstage area, and then this will be back there behind, in that area, so people can change. Why the masquerade started, with Michelle and I, and then it continued, and it kind of like was for her almost for a while, and then it became its own thing, and for a while it was kind of like me and Gray's a little bit. Like Gray really helped out and was a huge part of that, and then it became sort of like a love note for like a brief moment to Evan and I, and then it was over, and then everyone wanted to shut me down. Everyone wanted to take a piece of it. Everyone wanted to take control of this thing that I had built over 3 or 4 years, and 3 years, and I was like, now we've been gone a year, and we'll be back a year from the last one, and I want it to be good. I want it to be better. I want it to be, hey, you tried to destroy my life. Hey, you tried to shut me down. And it almost worked. I lost every single prop I ever had. I lost every costume. I almost lost my home. I lost my work. I lost so much. And my reputation and my performers even. But I'm here, I'm doing it, I've rebuilt it, I put my heart and my soul into it, I've spent a long time rebuilding it, and here I am, and this is what I can do. And I want to incorporate things that are about the way it started. Like when it started, it was supposed to be me and Michelle's wedding. We were going to do it at the Firmament. It was supposed to be like me and Michelle were going to get married in the morning, and then we're going to open the doors in the evening to the people who wanted to come and see us. We're going to have circus performers and live music. People could charge we were going to charge at the door and give them money just straight to the venue, so they could profit off of it in exchange for letting us do the wedding there. And it was going to work, and then they kind of shut us down. Like the Firmament was closing, and they were just kind of being dodgy, and yeah, they turned us down, but we ended up doing it at Paper Moon anyway, as a way to raise money for a wedding with the same concept, and so it was a great show, but we just ended up not getting married. But anyway, we had these wine glasses that I had bought, and I bought all these props, and I made all these props, and then a lot of stuff I got from the Warehouse Theater because they were letting go of a lot of their props. And so we had like Rocky Horror props, which is really cool. It's actually where the Ottoman at Paper Moon comes from, because that was one of my props in the first Masquerade that I just kind of like donated to the studio. And the original concept was that Michelle and I would sit on stage and have our thrones and drink wine and get drunk and watch the show. So on this show, I want to have a throne on stage and be able to do that. Just to have a throne up there, even if no one sits in it. It's a throne, it's symbolic, because to me, this is the end of that breath. Like it started with love for Michelle and I. It continued as, an act of love for that person, and then for, you know, the other people that it was just it was always an act of love. But I want that idea that it was born in, and that breath of love to be wrapped up in this show. And it'll complete the mask in my shadow box of all the masks from the beginning, and that'll be complete with the, you know, it's the last act in that breath of love, and that'll be it. And all these props and everything, the next show, it'll be a new kind of thing. It might, to you it might look like the same shit, but it'll be about something different. And I'm really trying to push us to do the play. I want to do the play about dreams, a circus play. It can be set up similar to how we're doing it now. It can have the same aesthetic, but there'll be a story. And it won't, you know, it'll just be a different show. It'll be about different things for different people.